non-visual media propaganda. In other words, books and magazines. Okay? If you realize that those same people now have a vested interest, because Social Security is, we know, in trouble. It's almost, if it's not insolvent at one point. But they want to take your pension money. They want to. They've already been caught. Banks have been caught. Prudential was caught making a deal with the U.S. government to give the death benefits of World War II veterans, all veterans, right, to the government that actually were actually paid into. You just don't get those benefits any longer. Look that up if you don't believe me, because I don't make anything up. I'm just reporting the news. See, here at We Are Change, basically all this is news that the mainstream media ignores, and that, of course, becomes our top story. So what we're trying to do is raise awareness to the fact that we have criminals running our government. Okay? It is no longer our government. It's run by greedy succubuses that attach on to corporations, and they're fed, and their campaigns are fed, and then they put through agenda, and they sign laws, and then laws are, you have a bill that's written, it's 500 pages long, and they got to read it overnight, or it's 7,000 pages long. I mean, it's just fraud, okay? It's absolute fraud, and the people are just too busy doing what they were doing while the factories close and the jobs go down. And then you blame Obama. Let's blame Obama. You blame Obama all you want. You can blame Bush. You can blame Clinton. You can actually really blame Clinton, because he started to make this thing happen with the repeal of Glass-Steagall, so that the banks could sell derivatives in the subprime mortgage market, targeting those poor people that Clinton was supposed to bring up. See how the New World Order operates is, it looks good on the surface, but they do the opposite of what they say. So war is peace, ignorance is strength, and freedom is slavery. So it really is true. Orwell had that right. I don't think Orwell could have imagined that we would come to this point that we have, where they're putting LRADs out in Hartford because people are protesting because of the banks, just to get them dispersed, just to like beta test, see how it works. You have that going on all the time at the G20 and other. It's just constantly happening, and you tell people, we live in a police state, and they look at you like you have 10 heads. You wonder why the prison system, as I spoke on my last show, there's so many people are in prison, but they don't do anything. That is incriminating, really, as far as injuring others. Yet they are incarcerated, and they're fined, and they're put into jails and prison systems that are privatized by these same corporations owned by the Federal Reserve System. I mean, you have to understand that this is a system that is designed to destroy America and turn us into a country like Zimbabwe, Argentina. Research what happened to those countries, and research why. The central bank implodes economies. They create inflation and they contract money supplies and increase money supplies, causing devaluation of dollars. They do this around the world. The central banks, all of them, and they're all tied in there. Now you have, of course, you've got the Netherlands, you got the Dutch interests over there as well. The Anglo-American Empire is what the New World Order really is. You have this tremendous spider web of control and integration. And speaking of all that integration, once you have control of the people's money, you don't really care so much about the laws, but you still want to create the laws to then control other aspects of their lives, such as the food, with Monsanto controlling seeds and controlling literal food supplies, putting GMO foods that on record causes sterility after 3 generations. You can look that up. You feed GMO to a mouse, his children, the offspring are fine, the next offspring are fine, the 3rd generation are sterile. So, and then you say, well, wow, you know, that's terrible. Everybody's eating this stuff. Yeah, that's right. And it literally changes your metabolism. It changes your DNA in your body by eating it over time. It causes fatigue, it causes all sorts of other problems. Yet, you have people like the head of the FDA is, of course, the former Vice President Monsanto. I mean, I keep echoing these same stories because they're, I think, the most critical and important ones to understand as to how they're controlling this society and making tons of money off us. Let's go to Big Pharma for just a second. Again, it's all Rockefeller and Rothschild. Their influences. They own the medical journals and the doctor books, the books that are given into the medical schools, into regular schools and high schools and public schools and colleges through Reed Elsevier, which was a conglomerate that was put together in 2004, just after 9/11. This is all part of the final collectivism. We're in the final stages where they actually incorporated all of their spider webs into a closer network that they can use. And they include that with LexisNexis. So we're going to go into that. I don't want to spend too much time going over it now, because I'd like to talk a little bit further about the movement. Now again, they are occupying the corner in Hartford, Connecticut, the corner of Broad Street and Farmington. So if you were to, go down there, when we were there before, there was, I guess, about, I don't know, maybe 30 people, 40 people that were actually camped out there planning to stay. I got some video of them talking. Again, they were LRADed and scattered in the evening the night before, so we don't know what's going to happen tonight. I have Vinny D from We Are Change is going down this evening to get some video and see what's going to be going on this evening after hours, and we'll include that in the montage. Things have been very busy over here, so I haven't really had enough time to post some of the shows and some of the stuff. It's just been very busy with the preparations and everything else going on. But it will be getting up there also. Chris Freedom Flowers show, Fight the New World Order. You can also watch that on our YouTube channel, which is on Freedom First Films, youtube.com/Freedom First Films. And you can watch Chris Freedom Flowers, whose show is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 to 1. And on Fridays, he dovetails into my show, which is from 1 to 3 every Friday, and 3 to 5 every Saturday Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And that's, of course, only on informedradio.com. You can get these links and connect with all of us through wearechange.org, We Are Change Connecticut, wearechangeCT.org as well, and get all the archives of this show and other links to great information and truth. After all, remember, we must be the change we wish to see in the world, and without action, there can be no change. Anyhow, so I thought that was interesting that, you got this discrediting, people trying to discredit and not allow us to get involved with the real grassroots opposition to the banks. So be aware that if they offer some solution, it's going to be fraudulent. Because remember, they're trying to control the situation. Luke Radowski of We Are Change, of course, was pummeled and thrown to the ground and knocked over protesting Occupy Wall Street the other day. And that's, of course, on our website, wearechange.org and wearechangeCT.org. There are links to that. And other videos. You can go again to We Are Change on YouTube as well as Freedom First Films. It's unbelievable. There's just a lot of unreported violence. Of course, the media is not going to cover it, but we all saw what happened on the bridge the other day when, of course, the police were allowing people to, exit Brooklyn, exit Manhattan to Brooklyn, but they boxed them in typical military fashion and lined up. They met a wall of resistance of police, who then corralled them and arrested them. 700 people were arrested, and that is the way freedom works, and that's the way it is in the New World Order. So remember, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength. So the Occupy Wall Street protests, the NYPD is accused of heavy-handed tactics. What a shock. I've got video on it. We just talked about it. Almost 1,000 people have been arrested in 2 weeks, subsequently more than the number of financiers who were led into this 2008 economic meltdown. Yeah, we should be locking these people up, and they're locking up the protesters. See, they're just deflecting it. Well, what do you think we're supposed to do about it? We just, you're just, you're just humanity. You're insignificant beings, useless eaters. You're useless eaters. You're useless. So we use you. And you can't blame us, because we make you look like a fool. To believe that the wealthiest people in the world have conspired to control humanity. Only a fool would believe that. We are so far above you. We know so much more. We are the enlightened ones. You see, we know what you do not know. Well, that's not true anymore, because many millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people, worldwide, hundreds of millions of people, are awake and know what the hell's going on. That the banks are the problem, not the bank, not your banker. Like, don't go to your bank and start being angry at your teller, or being angry at your loan officer if he does, deny you a loan because you have bad credit. Like, take some responsibility. That's the whole thing. See, this socialist, the globalist socialists, communists, fascist takeover we're under here, relies upon you needing to suck on the tit of the state. It's like you're going to be an infant for the rest of your life, and you need everything from the government. Wake up, be a man or a woman, be a parent, and do what you have to do to not take from the government. You don't need it. You can earn it. Don't let them lead you to believe that you can't. Just because 40 million people are on food stamps, well, 260 million aren't. Okay? So it does have a lot to do with your mind and your attitude. Now, I'm not saying go off of welfare if you can't feed your family, but understand that you cannot live your life on the system. The system was designed, quote unquote, as a temporary fix under hard economic times. But there are too many places and too many areas and too many people that live off this system, and they can't, because it is not going to work. If you continue to add onto this system like they're planning to do, you have to understand, I'm not saying you're not in trouble, those that are out of work, those that are on assistance, and I'm not demonizing you, because to be honest, all the assistance, and if you raise the taxes on all the wealthy people, and you took away all the welfare funding, we're still so far in a hole it wouldn't even make a dent. Not even a dent. Stopping the Federal Reserve, taking back the trillions of dollars that they've stolen, wiping out the fraudulent derivative debt. That's what we have to do. So we literally have to prosecute these people. We have to get it strong enough. We have to get people in the movement that are willing to run for office. We have people in the movement that are willing to, like G. Edward Griffin has just said recently on InfoWars Nightly News, we have to get together and we have to unify politically so that we can run for office, being awake and knowing what's going on and knowing what to go for, and running on that agenda.